The theme of our quarter for our Friday seminars this quarter is empowerment. Now, when you think of the word empowerment, a lot of things come to mind. I looked up what the branding for Life West said, and I'll read that to you first. And it says, empowerment, resourceful. Life West helps students to recognize their unique potential. In addition to empowering them as practitioners, we empower them as people through community, support, and love. And I think we do a good job of that. I've worked with thousands of chiropractic students since 1998, and I've been blessed to be part of their journey and growth as they realized their potential as student leaders and chiropractors. I have witnessed students and coworkers gain control over their own lives as they acted on issues that they believed were important. Some of you are in the room right now who had an idea for a new club or a community service project or an improvement that needed to be made on our campus. Even the photography contest. That's empowering. As a result, our Life West community has been blessed and we have all been empowered. So I want you to think about the many opportunities you have to think about what is important to you and how you might put some of those ideas into action. Your first speaker is an individual that I believe embodies empowerment. He joined the Life West family in the fall of 2012, first as the philosophy chair and a member of the campus faculty. And then in the fall of 2016, he moved over to the health center to support our interns as a mentor doctor. And I would say, watching him work as a mentor doctor, that's his sweet spot. It's been fun for me to see him become empowered in this position in the health center, and I turn the mic over to Dr. Brian Flannery.
All right. It's about time we drop some Tupac in here, isn't it? Hell yeah. You know, my first choice in songs wasn't California Love, it was How Do You Want It? And after finishing sexual harassment training this week, I decided that probably wasn't a good idea. However, the very first line of the first verse of How Do You Want It, I think is very chiropractic appropriate. Tupac says, I love the way you activate your hips and push your ass out, right? Isn't that, I mean, I think I saw Adrian do that the other day in the house. That's like foundation training stuff, right? Everything else after that is not appropriate. Still the same. Well, one of my professional dreams in chiropractic was to be the chair of the philosophy department at a major chiropractic institution. And on September 10th, 2012, I walked through those doors by the library, going to my office to fulfill that dream. And I was eager, and I was hopeful and well-intentioned, and really excited about the prospects of having that title. You see, in my coming up, my homies in chiropractic, if you will, are the philosophy crew, the people that have the diplomates in philosophy, who have spent thousands and thousands of hours dedicating their lives to studying and researching and developing chiropractic philosophy. And so I thought by attaining that position as the philosophy chair, that would make me elite among that group of people. And look at me, I'm the chair of the philosophy department at Life West. It's not some middling institution. This is a pillar institution in chiropractic philosophy. Had so much ego, and my head was so swollen, right? And I started to go to work doing that. And the first 6 months, 12 months were really good. I think we implemented a number of different things that I don't know that you appreciate right now. And I don't know if they're still doing it in the marketing class. Do you have to write a marketing plan anymore in that class? Yeah. I was the one that put that in. And you may not appreciate it now, but I guarantee you will when you get out of here, because you will have to plan for your prosperity. You will have to do that. And so the sooner that you can do it now, the better. But after the glow and the honeymoon had worn off, I started to find things about that job position that made me realize that maybe this isn't my gig. Maybe this wasn't the thing that really makes my heart sing or fulfills me or nourishes my soul. And so it started to become a job for me. And sure, I would show up and I would put my time in, but I found myself more and more becoming even more introverted than I normally am. I noticed that I was becoming more disengaged with you as students, more disengaged with my fellow faculty members and staff members, not really participating in the incredible things that all of you do on a daily basis here on campus, and really kind of being like a hermit, hiding in my office, only going out, going to class, and coming back in. And I was heading down this path of mediocrity in that position. And just like with anything, especially with people who do things at high degrees of excellence, people take notice of that, yes? And when you do something with mediocrity, people take notice of that as well. I'm sure those of you who had me in class during that period noticed that. And I'm sure my fellow colleagues, faculty members and staff members noticed that. And I'm quite certain that my supervisors noticed that. Because on one day I went into a meeting with Dr. Donaldson. Is he here today? One day I went into a meeting with Dr. Donaldson, and he very nicely relieved me of my duties as the chair of the philosophy department. What do you think happened to my ego at that moment? Implosion. Humbled immediately. And what do you think started to happen in my head and in my mind? All this negative self-talk started to come in. You're not good enough to be here. You're definitely not smart enough, Flannery. I mean, you have an office right next to Sue Ray. And then right down the hall is Dr. Moe. You're on the same faculty as Dan Murphy and Russ Rodeker and Ramona Houston and Norm Strutton. Incredibly brilliant people. I mean, students, I don't know if they like you. Faculty, I don't know if they like you. You know, all that bullshit that starts to happen in our heads, right? When that sort of stuff happens. Tough times, for sure. And so I remember being in Dr. Donaldson's office, and on the one hand, feeling so embarrassed and like such a failure. And even still out of that ego-driven place, mostly thinking to myself, how am I going to save face with the students? How am I going to save face with my faculty and staff members? But maybe even biggest of all, how am I going to save face with my philosophy crew? Still out of ego, right? But I also remember, on the other hand, being relieved. First of all, relieved that I wasn't let go altogether. And I remember Dr. Donaldson telling me in that meeting that I was of value to this institution, that I had something to contribute. But I was also relieved because, well, I knew it was the right decision to make. It was the right decision. And so he had to figure out where to put me. There was hours that I had lost being the chair. He had to figure out where to make up those hours. And so he put me in the health center. And I don't know whether it was out of a hunch or a guess or a whim or whatever the case was, but I got to tell you that was one of the best decisions ever for me in my life. And I wish you were here to thank him for that. Because I have never been happier in my life than I am right now doing what I do in the health center. Thank you. Shout out health center crew. Thank you guys for being here. I went from this disengaged, introverted hermit to now working more hours than I ever have and loving every single minute of it, by the way, to showing up on weekends, to screenings, to help my interns, to make sure that they just have the ability to palpate and run instrumentation on people. I mean, I've become so engaged now that I show up at Dancing with the Kairos and dance like a fool in front of you and just love it and just absolutely cherish every moment of my day with you. I can't wait to get in the morning. It's everything to get me to leave because I love what I do so much. I guess you can say I've come out and you get the real B-Flan every single day. And I'm no longer driven by that ego and selfishness, but now I'm driven by service to others, giving, loving, and serving you with everything that I've got. And so I thank you for that. And it's safe to say that I've become obsessed with two things. One, making sure that my interns have the greatest year of their schooling experience in their last year in the health center. And one that is based on, yes, thank you, one that is based on trust and passion and effort and integrity and fun. Guys, it is so much fun to watch you in the health center change people's lives. It's a gift. It's an honor. Second thing that I'm obsessed with is making sure that you have the resources and the skills and the tools necessary to build extreme levels of confidence and certainty in what you do. So that when you walk across this stage at graduation, that you know in your heart and in your head that you're ready. That you're ready and you will be massively successful in practice. Listen, I know that a year and a half ago and beyond that, I would have never even been considered to be up here presenting to you about empowerment. It wouldn't have been possible. But oh, how fast things can change when you're put in the right position, but more than anything, when you become you. When you just become yourself and your authentic, genuine being. And so I guess lesson number one in empowerment from me today is this. You can't be powerful or empower anybody else from a place of ego and hubris and bravado, being disingenuous. Because I know more than anything, all of you sitting here have bullshit meters on. And when someone or something comes at you that's not genuine, that is from that place of ego and bravado, you ain't buying it. But when someone or something comes at you with authenticity and love and connection and humility and gratitude, well, no, that's the stuff that shines through every time. Yes? Yes. Being powerful is like having a bank account. And your bank account is either in the red or it's in the black, based on what you're doing with it. And the things that we do, and we do them every single day, can either withdraw from that bank account of power, or you can make deposits in that bank account of power. And so there's all sorts of things that we do on a daily basis that withdraw. Ego withdraws power from that bank account, yes? And clutter, both the physical clutter that we have in our lives and in our spaces, the emotional or mental clutter that we might have, the bravado that we may have, the negative self-talk and the limiting beliefs that we have, all contribute to withdrawing power from that bank account. And there are all sorts of things that we do. Oh, and especially, I can't forget this, especially regrets and resents. If you're carrying around regrets and resents in your life, those are the things that just rob your soul. So there's all sorts of things that you can do to get those cleaned up. One of them is happening in a few weeks. I think there are spaces, I know there are spaces for Life 101, so a shameless plug for that. I'm honored to be one of the facilitators at that, and this could be a pivotal moment for many of you. So if you're not signed up yet, please get signed up. I think you can probably do so today. Yes, Jackie? Yeah. Please get signed up today, and I guarantee we will have an incredible time up in the mountains. But you can take seminars, you can read books, you can develop rituals, all sorts of things to get that stuff cleaned up in your life, and I urge you to do so. Maybe before you do any technique seminar, maybe before you do any type of certification seminar, just get that stuff cleaned up. But I got to tell you, once you get it cleaned up, you're not rich with power. Not at all. Now you're at zero, and you get to add and make deposits to that bank account. And so I want to tell you 3 levels of things that you can do today to build that bank account of power so that you can empower yourselves and other people. Fair enough? All right, how much time do I have? I can't see. 5 minutes? Okay. Thank you. I know of no better way to make deposits in that bank account than to acknowledge other people. When you acknowledge someone else for what they do for you and the impact that they have on your life, it is one of the most incredibly powerful things that you can do, not just for them, but for you as well. And so I think there's 3 levels of acknowledgement now in this day and age that you can do. And the first one, and we'll wrap some context around it, the first one would be like making a $1,000 deposit in that power bank account. $1,000 is a good chunk of change, yes? Yeah. Anyone could use an extra 1,000? Yeah. But it's at the lowest level because, well, it's just not as personal as what the other 2 are. So you can acknowledge someone by sending them a text message, an instant message, Snapchat, whatever it is that you're doing these days. I don't know. But it's got to be from a place of love and authenticity and connection. Can't be flippant. It's got to be meaningful for you. And I guarantee you, when you send that message with meaning and with love and with gratitude, the person on the other end of that message is feeling it. Would you agree? Yeah. And so I would urge you, please do as many of those as you can today. Start today, after Tim gets done. Start that. You promise me that? Yep. Send someone who means the world to you a text letting them know how much they mean to you and how much you love and appreciate them. All right? Second level would be like a $10,000 deposit. Yeah, now we're talking bigger money, huh? Bigger stakes. And this one is a little bit more challenging because this one is face-to-face. I hear some groans out there already. Face-to-face, yes. And this one is more challenging because there can be some shyness embarrassment maybe, but you got to get over that. When you really meaningfully share your love and gratitude with someone else, it is so incredibly magical. So I want you to find a room, private, no distractions going on, and share with them, knee to knee, eye to eye, and heart to heart, your love and appreciation for what they do for you. Can you do that today as well? Guys, if we do that today, just think of how much energy and love that will be created. And God knows that we need that. Instead of dropping bombs of destruction, we'll be dropping love bombs. How would that be? Yeah. When you share that moment with someone face to face, it is magical. And there'll probably be tears coming down your cheeks. And I guarantee you the vibration of you, of every single cell in your body and the person receiving that acknowledgement's body will be just buzzing with love. All right, so the last one. Level 3 would be like a $100,000 deposit. Big stakes now, yes? A $100,000 deposit in that power account would be a public acknowledgement. A public acknowledgement. And that means that you're not only sharing with that person you're acknowledging in person, but you're sharing it with the greater group and the world. Anyone in here have the opportunity to watch Obama's farewell address? Anybody in here? I know a few of you, probably studying. But when he got to the point in his presentation where he acknowledged Michelle and his daughters, I got to tell you, I wept. I sobbed at that moment. Incredibly powerful. And I know those of you who watched it probably felt the same way, empowered, and we don't even know him. We don't even know him. But that's the kind of impact that a public acknowledgement can have. And so I urge you, when you get the opportunity to do that, to please do so. It means the world to that person receiving it, and it raises the bar so high of power. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for allowing me the privilege of presenting to you today and the honor of serving you. It's been the greatest gift of my life so far to serve you, and I can't wait for more. Have an incredible weekend. Stay safe. Be blessed. Much love, everyone.
That was amazing. I love you. Appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Flannery. Well, I'd like $100,000 in my account, and I would like to publicly tell B. Flan how much I love and appreciate him. Whenever I've asked for his support with any student life event, including Life 101, he's been there for me. He gives, he loves, he serves, he walks it, he talks it, he's the real deal. I hope you feel blessed by listening to him today. Very empowering. Thank you, B. Flan.